Welcome to the video, everyone. Today I'm going to be walking through some art that I've made for in my digital design class at my high school for semester 1. All this stuff is cool, and let me know if you guys really like it, but I thought it'd be cool to make a video on it, and this is why I haven't really been able to do art videos, because this is what I've been focused on. So I'm like, hey, might as well just make a compilation of what I've done this year. And let me know which one is your favorite in the comments. I'll be doing this for semester 2. So semester 1 just ended today. I have my midterms next week, but that's besides the point. So without further ado, let's jump into the first one here, which is the fall battle. So basically, this was a Photoshop composite. So the background is just a fall forest, and basically what it is like knights and archers and everything battling on leaves that are falling, and constantly the terrain is changing. So a really cool idea, something that you'd see in the movies, but I thought it was a really cool idea to do, and I'm really happy the way it came out. I love those kind of not necessarily drawings, or just kind of any kind of art where there's a lot of things going on, and you can look at it and you can find something, a different situation going on. So here, all the leaves are not originally from this photo, but I changed the lighting to make it look like that. All those shadows weren't there, and all these knights weren't there, but together I feel like their lighting works good with the situation, and farther ones are obviously smaller away, but I personally am really happy with the way it came out. As you can see here, there's something different going on. So some of the leaves have things bitten out of them, which is cool. We got this battle going on, sword battle. We got the 3 archers, one trying to get the other, that one guy. Then we got a knight all the way in the back, who just got another guy and is standing in his victory. So this my kind of idea here is I love miniatures, and I thought it's never really done before with knights battling on very small things, and I think that would be very cool as just an idea in general, really, where they're jumping on things, and the terrain is constantly changing. They jump per leaf, and you can rip the ground. I don't know, I thought that was cool. But this was my first one of the year, and I'm really proud of the way it came out. Let me know what you guys think once again, and we're gonna move on to the next one. So here, I called this the King. This was digital painting, and this was my first one. So what I did, kind of my steps were, I drew it in paper because I'm used to paper, and it's hard to write with those pen tablets, especially when you're not tracing something. So I drew it on my head, this character design, and I thought it was really cool, and I liked the way it looked, but I don't really like coloring things in because it never really looks well with the markers and colored pencils I have. So I decided to bring it to life. So I put it on Photoshop and put the image in the back and traced it out, and then I added the colors, and then I changed the coloring. The burn and dodge was really hard, which is getting the lighting basically on the face, and since there's so many creases, I wanted to have a little more darkness under that area to make it more realistic. But overall, I like it. I wish I did it better. I like the face, but I covered it with the sword. I don't know why he's wearing jeans. Yeah, it's not my favorite, but I think it came out as good as it did from my original drawing, and I'm glad the way it came out. I was also went a little too wild with the lighting. I was experimenting, and there's some mistakes I made on this, but overall I'm happy with it. But as you'll see later on, I had another digital painting that I definitely it was a lot better overall, and I'm glad I went through this learning experience to go to this. Okay, so moving on to the next one is a logo for the Business, which is now Heartwork by Allison. And by the way, great artist, great work. You gotta check her out. You can, I think she'll have a website soon, but her email, like you can email her. She does really great hand painting and everything. But so for a logo, I wanted to have this meaning. So it's Heartwork. So I wanted to have it very heart related, but also with paint. So kind of the meaning of this is well first I was gonna do a lot of things, but I had the idea of like the way swans have their like neck together and they make a heart, and the idea of hands. And so this is kind of like the meaning towards it, how like she like holds paint glasses, so like she lets them, like those are technically her hands. She shows like the people trying to learn like what you could make, and like people see paint as just like nothing, and they don't know how to paint themselves, and they don't know how to create something, and it's like her guiding her, showing what you can make out of this paint. So we got the painting element, the heart element, and a meaning that she connected to, because that's what she does, and she's also like giving a purpose to things and spreading it with love. So overall, she really liked it, which made me really like it. I have other designs here, given the colors, the font, different sizes for her to use depending on what she's using it for. Website, business card, and black and white. That was just for the assignment. But yeah, so I think this turned out pretty good. But let's move on to the next one. So we got this was an infographic I made. As you can tell, the little thing to the left is 3D. Well, like kinda. And I really like the way this turned out. So like, it's an infographic, so it's just like basic information. So just camping tips. So number one, make sure your tent is set up, is like on a flat surface in a protected area. Start a fire to create warmth, and like to make food. Remember to bring a like thing for rainy days, and then watch out for raccoons. So that's just to make it more fun, because there's a raccoon in the tent. But what I did here is there's also like no outlines. The colors just transition just right away. This was a really cool thing to make. It looks like it's like a little set. You can hold it. I'm really happy the way it came out. It's really fun to make. What I was kind of going here for is that I was just trying to find out, and I wanted something with trees, because I thought trees would be fun. So I decided to go with camping, because I'd recently gone camping and had a great time. And I went with this. One thing, like, you can't tell from this far, but some of the little, it's not perfect with, like, say that little table over there with the cup. They're not perfect, which is fine, but something that was frustrating in the making of it, because I spent a lot of time trying to make it look the most of what it could, but obviously it didn't turn out that way, which is fine. But yeah, so there was a lot of hard things trying to get that 3D perspective and the lighting, like, because, like, say on the tent, one side's got to be darker, one's got to be lighter, so it has that realistic effect. Alright, so here's what I said about redemption time with the digital paintings. This one is my personal favorite. Here we have Alakazam and Rayquaza playing on the Switch, clearly competing against each other, and clearly Alakazam is locked in and Rayquaza's mad because he probably just beat him or something. And we got Alakazam representing Noah J with his shirt. This is supposed to resemble me and my brother playing on the Switch. It was kind of similar to what I did with the King, the other digital photo, is that I originally drew this on paper and brought it to life on here. And it was definitely bland without the coloring, and I'm glad I brought this digitally. And what I really wanted to do here was to have the Pokemon realistically, like the way they really like they look in the real world, but also looking cartoony and like they do Pokemon made, but also having my style to it. And I'm really glad the way they turned out. It's kind of really what I was aiming for, and I'm just super happy the way it turned out. The kind of the meaning and purpose behind there is just like me and my brother playing the Switch, and it's I have a blast, and it's just one of the things that I want to remember forever. And I did this by making like a drawing or a painting out of it, and I'm really proud of it. I think it resembles what I was trying to resemble really well. I think it's cool, and my brother loves it as well. That was a gift for him, so I'm really happy the way this turned out, and it made me really excited to continue my digital painting experience. And yeah, so here's where we get cooler. This is literally like last week from when I make this video. It is this is a Photoshop composite, so this background someone else made it, not my credit at all. I didn't necessarily make these things. I just input them all into one. So these are not illustrations. These are real toys. These are Popo mutant figures. These are the coolest toys in the game. I have a solid amount of them, and they're just really sick to play with, just to keep on like a desk or something. They're really cool. And here they're clearly having a duel. I also added in that sunlight. You can clearly tell they're having a duel here, and the tiger is in a stance of preparing, and clearly the dragon's been hit and had to hold on to that rock and is now coming around to continue the battle. So I really wanted to have like a fun element to it, and I think it looks super sick, simply just because the toys look sick. And now I always wanted them to battle, but like I couldn't position them correctly as like the toys, because they obviously their limbs don't move. So I had the idea of doing it on Photoshop, and I'm really glad the way it turned out. They took a while trying to get the lighting right, like they're really in this scene, trying to make them very darker. But I personally think they look like they're in there and they're really having a brawl, which is something that I've been like kind of looking forward to, or like wanting to see in a while. So I'm really glad it turned out this way, because this is what I was going for, and I had a blast. And I was actually encouraged to do another one, which I finished 2 days ago from the making of this video, and it's kind of like on the same idea but a different setting of this. So here, it's the same toy. It's the same company of toys. Once again, if you think these are sick, as I do, then please try to get them somewhere at your local stores or anything. These are really sick toys. But here we have, at the end of a long battle, we have these 3 final warriors standing. They all have won. It is raining. It's been a long, gruesome, horrible battle, but it's over. And here they are in the land. So I'm probably gonna make another one of these, because there's a couple more ones that are good, the toys. So this is like a continuation, like that was like the beginning of a war, and those 2 started it, and now finally the war has ended. Here, to make them really look like they're in that area, I had to cut out their feet so they look like they're in the wheat, which turned out really well. If you're looking at for all of them, really, that turned out really well, because they look like they're stepping there before they look like they were floating over it, so that makes it very real. And also, if you look at the rhino and the crocodile, like this image is actually technically behind them, they're ahead of it, but I cut out parts to look like that sword and that spear is ahead of them, which really gives to that depth and everything. Once again, I had to change the coloring so they looked like they're really in here, which took some time, but overall kind of like the same ideas, except I had to cut more things out to make it look like more in the real. But great background. Once again, I didn't make this, but kind of continuation. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think of this video. If you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed the music, let me know what you guys think. This is why I haven't been making art videos that much lately, because this is what I've been doing instead in my school. So let me know, guys, if you want any more. And yeah, I'll be doing one for my next work in semester 2. But see you guys in the next one. Bye.